I was just thinking about assessing, your life. Okay, let me tell you what the deal is. It's a lot going on for me at work, and you know, fear is a very crippling thing. Um, and I get torn because see, I'm a very practical, I'm a very logical person, and that has its negatives, because right now in my work environment, I posted a video I think a few months back about abuse on the job and that type of thing. I really deplore it. I really would like to just quit and pursue things that maybe I've always wanted to do and never did. I really do want to be in business for myself, and I write, and I can write pretty much anything from fiction to I've written articles for newspapers before, and stuff like that. But it's like a hobby thing. But that is what I know my calling to be is, down that path. But fear, because I've been so frustrated at work. I talked with my husband about quitting, and he tells me that I can quit. He's done all the math, and we'd make it. We'd have to make some concessions, of course. We couldn't spend as much as we could, of course, when we were two um, income family and that kind of thing. But I'm terrified of that because, quite frankly, I have always made my own money. I got married at 30. I didn't have my daughter until I was 38, and I'm 43 now. And I have been making my own money uh, since I was in college, and really after I graduated from college. I did whatever I had to do. I mean, I was working one fast food place in the morning and a restaurant at night, and I had my roommate from college. We got an apartment, but we were doing whatever we had to do, whatever grind we had to do, not to go home, because going home just was not an option. For most of us, after 4 years of college and that freedom, the idea of going home is just like a last resort. So we did that, and but I've always made my own money. So the thought of not having my own money is terrifying to me. Um, and even though my husband assures me that everything will be fine, I'm not sure everything will be fine. So that makes me hesitant too. And then I started thinking of all the reasons why I shouldn't even be thinking about that. We have a 5-year-old daughter who will just be starting, real school in the fall. Um, if I could hold on to my job a little bit longer, if um, till I'm 55, let's say if I just make it to 55, my retirement package would be way bigger. Um, to walk away from a check, which is a pretty decent check, um, is scary to me. And I almost feel like if I did that, as soon as I started hitting the stress points that would be associated with me no longer working, I think I would just beat myself up so badly about the fact that I walked off the job if I were to quit. Um, but the way, I don't know, I figure at this point with what I'm going through on my job, either I'm going to leave probably by one of three ways. Um, Termination, because I am being pencil whipped right now for anything you can imagine. Because me and one of the executives don't get along. Um, or I'm going to quit, or I'll be moved into another area within the company. And But the reality is, all those things I mentioned, yeah, they're real solid reasons for not quitting, Um, but when I hear stories about people who do take the chance, I watched Splinter 24's video tonight, one of her videos, on one of her random videos. And she was talking about she quit her job. At one point, she was on a sabbatical in order to, finish some, or to focus on her education. I think she's getting her master's. But eventually, she would go in and help out, and it started taking up too much time. And so she quit. And she was talking about how it is going to be a sacrifice, and that they had a saying. I think she's from Jamaica. They have a saying, something like, I probably will mess this up, but something like, okay, I really am going to mess this up, so I'm going to paraphrase here, but something like, in order for you to be successful, your nose has to run, or something like that, she said. But the premise of it was the same. Basically, you don't get something for nothing. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you got to go through a little pain. You got to go through a little transition for the betterment of yourself, for the greater good. And I really just don't feel like having the life sucked out of me anymore on this job. And the bad thing is about it that the job itself, what I do daily, is not the thing, but it's the people who I report to that's the thing. And it's horrible. When you work probably anywhere, but definitely in a corporate environment, you know how politics can be. And out of all the years I've been there, this is the first time the politics and the abuse of power is so bad that as soon as I walk in the building, my head starts hurting. I've noticed that sometimes my chest hurts. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting, my legs are just hurting. It's just, and I know it's affecting me physically, and that's a first for me. And I really don't even like saying that because, not me, but yeah, me, And so when I started talking about all the reasons why I should not leave my job, I come back to, well, nothing that's going to do you any good. If you're dead, or if you have a stroke or a heart attack and you're disabled in some way, My husband even said, well, just make sure you increase your insurance policy. Haha. I don't know. And even in this moment saying this, y'all, I just don't know what to do or how to work out. I have several friends who are praying around the clock. I'm going to tell you, whether you like how it sounds or not, I don't have the energy to pray about it at this point. Because what's been going on has been so long with these people. It's so ruthless that I'm just at a point now where it's like, I need results. Y'all pray. Stand in the gap. Do all of that. But I need results. Because the long suffering period, yeah. And so, just saying all that to say, especially like when I think about my daughter, I hope she's never in a position like this. And I hope if she is in a position like I am right now, I actually hope that she's brave enough and courageous enough to do what I'm having a hard time doing. I hope she is courageous enough to step out and say, I'm going to take a chance. In spite of all the risks. Because see, intellectually, I can say this to myself, but my feet don't move in that direction. Intellectually, I can say what I would like for her to do, which is take the risk. Even if it doesn't work as smoothly as you would like it to. You need to take the risk to even have a chance for something better. Because if you don't, then you're just going to get more of the same. You know? And that's a bad way to use your life. That's a bad way to spend your life. And I know even with me saying those words, I need to be able to show her, you know, by example. I need to be able to tell her, you know, I was at this job for 21 years. That's a huge investment. As far as time, when you start thinking about your retirement package and what amount of money you would lose if you leave now as opposed to if you retire later, if you're able to stay there. And all of those concerns, sometimes you just have to be bold and take a risk. And I will be saying all these things to her. And I will be so proud if that's how she thinks. And I can't do it. Or I have been unable so far to do it. So, I don't know. I know something has to change. I know I don't want to be so stressed out that I end up getting sick or something does happen to me, you know, and for what? You know? I don't want to have that moment of clarity on the hospital bed. I just really don't. So I know I need to do something. I know it. So hopefully I'll be making a video one day to say, guess what, y'all? Guess what I did? Guess what I did? Yeah, I'm afraid, but I did it anyway. See, I want to be that person. And I'm just not that person right now. But I want to be that person. You know, so we'll see.